Hi, it's Karen Gilbert here, and I wanted to welcome you to an introduction to Perfumery Level 1. And rather than me try and sell you the course, I thought I'd make a quick video giving you a little background tour of the course itself so that you can see what it is, what's included, and what you're going to learn. So when you join the course, the very first thing that you're going to see is an email from me with your username and password. Now, it's going to look a bit like this. As you see, it will come from me, and it will come from me at onlineperfumeschool.com, so Karen at onlineperfumeschool.com, rather than Karen at karengilbert.co.uk, which is the email address that you'll be used to seeing from my weekly newsletters. So make sure that you whitelist this email address as well, as all of the information to do with your course or any of the courses that you have in Online Perfume School will come from this particular email address. And make sure you keep this safe, as you'll need it to log in each time. Obviously, keep this login private, as it's only for those people who've paid to be part of the training. So there are three important parts to this email. So firstly, your username, which will usually be your email address. So when you went through the checkout process, it will usually be the email address that you use to sign up with. So this might not be your usual email address. It may be, if you've checked out with PayPal, this probably will be generated using your PayPal email address. So if you, for whatever reason, you don't get your login details, make sure that you check that email address as well, because it could be slightly different. The next bit that is important is your automated password. So this is what you'll need to log in the very first time to your course portal. Now, once you've logged in the first time, you will be able to change it to something more memorable if you want to. This is something that's just automatically generated by the system. And the most important part, of course, is the link here, which is onlineperfumeschool.com, which will take you to your login page. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention, for those of you who already have an online course with me, so you might be already inside the Natural Perfumery Masterclass, your login, if you sign up to Introduction to Perfumery Level 1 and you already have one of the other courses, you won't get a different username and password. All you'll see is when you log into your normal course platform, you will see that course pop up. I'll show you behind the scenes in a moment, but you won't get two different email usernames and passwords. The beauty of this system that we've moved to is everything is all within one login. So you won't need a separate one. So before we go to the online course portal and I show you behind the scenes, the final important thing is that we have a private Facebook group as part of this course. Now, the live Q&As, the live monthly Q&As will be taking place inside the Facebook group. So it's really important that you join us in there, and I'll be showing you behind the scenes in that as well. Now, this group is a private group for my online course students only. So you will need a personal invite from me. Because it's a secret group, I can't just add you to the course, to the Facebook group. It doesn't really work like that. So what I need from you, and you will get an email from me saying, please send us your Facebook email login. Now, what that means is, just to clarify, because people do get a little bit confused about that point, is what I need for you to join the Facebook group, I need the email address that you used when you signed up to Facebook. So this could have been like 10 years ago, it could have been years ago, and it could be an old email address. I can't add you just with your Facebook profile username. I need the actual email address that you used when you signed up to Facebook. And there is a strong possibility that it's going to be different to the one that we have on file for you and the one that you use day to day. So just to clarify that, send us your Facebook email address and then we can get you inside the group, because the link that you'll find in the course will not work unless you've already been signed up. Now, this is the place that you're going to be able to interact with your fellow students. You're going to be able to ask me questions about the course and your perfumery study. And there's so much valuable content in this group, as many people will probably have already asked the questions that are coming up for you when you join. So we opened this group in 2013. So as you can tell, there's probably, you can probably tell there's a lot of information in there. And this is where the Q&As will be happening via Facebook Lives as well. Okay, so let's go to the course portal and I will show you around there. So this is the main page, and what you'll need to do is just click here to log in. So that will take you to the restricted access members only. So you want to be putting your email address and password in here. I'm just going to log in as admin. So there we go. And what you will see next is your welcome page and a little welcome video from me as well. Now, what you'll see under my courses here, I've logged in as admin, so I have access to all 3 courses that we have there at the moment. You can always also access your courses from the drop down at the top right here as well. If you have access to a course, the image will be in color. If you don't have access to that course, then the image will be in grey tone and you won't be able to click on if you click on the course, it will just take you to the sign up page. So let's go ahead and click onto the Introduction to Perfumery Level 1 and have a look at the behind the scenes here. So welcome to the Level 1 online training here. Now, the first thing that you will see is a welcome video. And this is just to give you a bit of a guidance of how to use the course. So that's the bit that you'll see first of all. Now, what I want to let you know here is I'm seeing all of the modules in my dashboard because I'm logged in as admin. When you join the course, all you will see, first of all, you'll just see the welcome page. If you have signed up, once you've signed up to the course and you've got your username and password to log in, you'll just see the welcome page. Then when we go live, because we're drip feeding this over 14 weeks, we're going to be releasing a module every 2 weeks to give you time to study it, to do all of the exercises and really make sure that you're not trying to kind of scramble to keep up. I don't want to give you too much information all at once. And what I found is if people have access to everything, it becomes quite overwhelming. So we are going to be giving you access to a module every 2 weeks. So when we go live, you will automatically go into your course dashboard and you will see level 1, module 1, but you will not see any of the other modules until they're released on that 2-weekly basis, if that makes sense. So the different parts of the training, when you first start a module, it's going to be split into lessons. Now, on the introduction to each module, there's going to be like a really short introduction video to tell you about that module and what to expect. And you will also see the lessons down the bottom here. This course portal has got this great facility of being able to track your progress. So if you go and do a lesson and then you come back to it later, make sure you've ticked off the lesson as you do it, because then you know where you're at and you don't have to keep going over the same material. So let's get started in this and I will show you what the lessons look like. So module 1 is really the fundamentals of studying perfumery. So this is all about the sense of smell, training your nose. Now, every single module will be split into lessons, as I said, and on lesson 1 of each module, in addition to the audios and any other documents that are specific to that particular lesson, you're going to have a workbook. So on module 1, this will be where you'll find the downloadable workbook for each module. So module 1, lesson 1, you'll find a workbook. Module 2, lesson 1, you'll find your workbook. So we haven't sort of split it out so that there's a workbook for each lesson, because I think that's a bit unwieldy. So let's go ahead and I'll just play the video a little bit just so that
before we get into the main part of this module, which is training your nose and learning all about your materials, I just want to briefly talk about the sense of smell and how it.
Okay, so you can also scroll through the videos as well.
So and up to the olfactory receptors. Not everything has a perceptible odour. So,
but if you want to go back,
that's really what we're going to be focusing on.
They are scrollable as well, so you don't have to keep playing the video
things like sandal
each time. So the next important thing, so for some of you might want to just listen to the audio, and if you want to do that, each module, each lesson has an audio MP3 download as well. So you can just put it on your phone and listen to it in the car or whatever you prefer. And different lessons will have different downloadable documents as well. So the first module will have your course equipment list and then your safety precautions as well. So let's just have a look at one of the workbooks, because people have found this really useful. It's essentially, some people prefer to watch a video and listen to audio, and some people prefer to read and make notes. What I would suggest that you do is just print this out, or you can download it and have a look at it on your computer. But essentially this is a transcript of the audio. So it's pretty much the same as what I will be talking about in the videos, but there will be places for you to write notes. And at the end of each lesson, there's a section so that you can check your understanding. So each section will have a few questions at the end where you can just write some notes, answer the question. And so it really tests your knowledge as you're going along. So this is really for your own usage. And every single module has one of these workbooks now. So, you know, they're quite hefty, but really they're designed for you to use in addition to the course as well. So that is module 1, lesson 1. So all about the sense of smell. Lesson 2 is where we really get into training your nose. Lesson 3, this is all about building up your olfactory vocabulary. And again, we've got some downloadable documents. The resources in each lesson are going to be slightly different, as are the lengths of the videos. So module 1 is 1 and 2, I would say, are the longest of all of the modules in the course, because they're really the foundations and they're the things that you're going to keep going back to time and time again. And you can see that lesson 3 is 50 minutes long video, but lesson 1 is a bit shorter, so 23 minutes. Some lessons are quite short, like some of the lessons are sort of 5-10 minutes long and some are much longer. So please don't get overwhelmed when you look at this and think, oh my God, each lesson's like 50 minutes long and it's a lot to go through. That is not the case for every single one. I've split them up, each module up into lessons where it sort of makes sense on different topics, rather than just giving it all to you at once. And it will make it much easier for you to go through over the course of the 14 weeks. So when you've done a lesson, you can have a look at this checkbox here and just tick that off before you move on to the next module. And so then we've ticked that off. So if we go back to module 1, you should be able to see, there we go. So we're 100% finished on module 1. So it's a nice little handy thing, which will be useful for you later when we come on to the certificate and the quiz at the end. And I'll tell you a bit more about that in a moment. So module 2 is where we build on what we learned in module 1. So really this is about digging deeper into your study of raw materials. And again, we've got your little intro video. You can track your progress here and you get started with your lessons. So this is 3 lessons. So again, 30 minutes for that one. These are a little bit shorter. Some of them are a bit longer, as I mentioned before. So lesson 2 is all about materials classification and top, middle and base notes with some audio. Lesson 3 is all about evaluating your materials. As you see, look, this is 9 minutes. So like they're not all massively long, so don't worry too much about that. Module 3. This is where we're going to be looking at different fragrance families. So I've really split this one up into 8 lessons. So you've got a lot more lessons, but each one is a little bit shorter because I felt it made sense to kind of separate it out, and you can really just study each fragrance family one at a time and really take your time with it. So again, these are quite short. You've got some audio as well. Some of the lessons, you've got some downloadable things. And of course, you've got homework as well. Every single module has got homework. Not every lesson will have homework. I've been a bit easy on you for that, but every single module will have exercises to do. So a lot of people ask, well, how do I learn perfumery online? Well, the thing is, there's a lot of theory to learn, but there is you're not going to become a perfumer by just watching videos and learning theory. You have to do the practice as well. And so I've included lots of exercises, and we'll be talking about them in the live Q&As. Sometimes I will bring some little topics of interest as well. So as well as me answering your questions live, if I see a pattern of things coming up, of questions that I keep getting that have not been clarified so much in the course, I will be adding those into the live Q&As as well, and I'll show you those in a moment. So module 4, so let's go back to module 4. This is where we are going to be talking about accords. This is where we start to get into creation mode. So you've studied your materials, you've learnt to deconstruct the fragrance families, and this is where we're going to be looking at the Jean Carl's method. We're going to be looking at some other methods as well. Let's have a quick look at some of the lessons. So this is 4 lessons. Again, you've got your audio. We're going to be looking at what is an accord. We're going to be looking at the Jean Carl's method here. And you've got your downloads there's a lot of stuff to read about the Jean Carl's method. So if you haven't read those, you've got access to all of those documents in there. We're going to be looking at some other simple blending techniques as well, and also diluting your materials. So you're going to there's some spreadsheets that I've included that I've done for everybody, and some links to web pages and what have you. So again, you're going to be able to not only do your watch your videos, you're going to be able to do your exercises, and there's loads and loads of extra resources as well. So module 5, so you can see why I've split this over 14 weeks. If you had all of this information together, and I've had some students, when we used to do the course, we had everything all at once. And the students who have been on this course since 2013, who've got all of the information at once, have given me some great feedback actually of what works better for them, which is why I kind of split it up into smaller chunks. And they all have access to this new information as well, and have found it so much easier to follow and so much clearer. So I'm sure that you'll find that too. So where are we? Module 5, so creating a finished fragrance. Again, you've got your intro video here and all of your lessons. So in this module, we're going to be looking at the different types of fragrance construction. We are going to be looking at putting it all together. So all of the stuff that you have learned over the weeks in the course, this is where we're going to pull the whole thing together, and you're going to be able to start writing your briefs and creating your finished fragrances. So again, these are, every single video is going to be slightly different length, some longer, some shorter. And then finally in module 6, this is where we start to look at creating fragrances for different types of product base other than an alcohol spray. Now, I always suggest that you start by creating perfume in an alcohol base because it's the easiest thing to work with. But I know that lots of you are making skincare products, maybe you're making shower gels, maybe you're making room sprays. So in this module, we're going to be talking about like what we do to tweak our formulas depending on the base that we're using. Now, we touch on it in this, but we do go into a lot more depth on different bases in the creating fragrances for skincare products course, which is a separate course. So if that is where you want to go, I would suggest looking at that course as well. But we do touch on it in this course. So don't worry too much about the other one first. I would always say do this course first and then decide whether you want to do the creating fragrances for skincare products afterwards. Wait until you've learned everything before you sign up to the other course. I wouldn't do that one without doing either the Natural Perfumery Masterclass or this course first, because it won't make sense to you. So in this module, we're also going to be looking at how you evaluate your fragrances, creating for different bases, and this lesson 4, which is where a lot of people get stuck. So we're going to be doing a whole module here on a whole lesson here on IFRA, EU Cosmetics Directive, and there's a lot of information here about safety assessors, how to navigate IFRA as well. So you've got all of your information there. So the other tabs that I will, I'm not going to click on these because these are going to be different for everybody. There is always going to be a bonus tab. Now, at the moment, we have a bonus of This is a fragrance branding module that I did previously. So this bonus module will change over time depending on what I decide to give as bonuses for different courses. So if I do a masterclass, I might add that on the bonus tab as well. So this is going to be different depending on when you've signed up to the course. And the final tab that I'm going to show you is your live Q&A tab. Now, we will hop over to the Facebook group in a moment so I can show you what that looks like and what you're going to get. But this is where you will get all of your dates for the live Q&A sessions. So as you can see from these are the ones that we've done in the last round. Now, I do vary the time zones. I'm here in the UK, but I am aware that lots of my students are overseas, lots in the States. We've got lots of people in different parts of Europe. We've got Australia, we've got New Zealand, we've got Asia, we've got India, we've got Middle East. So I know that people can't often make certain time zones. So what I'll be doing as each round of the course runs, I'll be seeing, assessing like the different demographic of the course group and running a poll and seeing what times are best for people. So don't worry if you're not in a UK time zone. There will be a time, hopefully, that you can hop on the call live. Now, all of these, as I said before, are going to be inside the Facebook group. So you need to have joined that. And don't worry if you can't watch live, you will be able to submit your questions for me before the live call, and I will be able to read those out and answer them on the call. Sometimes, you can see, and also all the calls will be recorded, so you can access them in the Facebook group, but I will also upload the recordings here as well. So you can see some of the previous Q&As. Now, often I will just do it as a Q&A, and you can see here where I'm just answering questions. But sometimes if I get specific questions that need a kind of a diagram, I will use my whiteboard and give you a little bit of an extra lesson in here as well. So make sure, so the Q&As are something that we've added recently, and I found that they've worked really, really well. So this is just a little bit of one of the Q&As I'm playing now. And if you want to, you can put that on full screen as well. And you can see me there with my whiteboard and what have you. So let's just shrink that back down again. And so what I will probably do is remove these old Q&As from this for the next round, but you will be able to find them all archived in the Facebook group anyway. So we'll just keep the new ones up here for each round, but they will be archived in the Facebook group. So we'll hop over there in a moment. The final thing that I wanted to show you on this dashboard here is your certification quiz. Now, this is a new thing for this round of the course, and we've just introduced it for the last round. And this will give you, once you've completed all of your modules and ticked everything off, so you must make sure, in order to see this quiz, you must make sure that you've ticked off all of these modules. So what you'll find is, so for example, if we hop to module 5, I know that I haven't ticked off. So I haven't completed any of these in my version of the course. So what will happen is when I click onto the certification quiz, it will say, oh no, you don't seem to have completed the course, or perhaps you've forgotten to tick off a lesson or two after you completed them. So this quiz will only show once we have completed the course. So I'm not the sort of, I know lots of people wanted a certificate. Once you've completed the quiz, which is a multiple choice quiz, now you will be able to answer this quiz very, very easily if you have completed the course. If you haven't, there's no point in just doing the multiple choice questions just to print out a certificate. I'm not the sort of person who gives away certificates of completion just because you've paid for the course. I really want you to have understood the material before you print out a certificate. So this is the reason why we've made it. We've got some great software here. I'm really loving using this online course software that we've changed to, because it does give me this ability to filter things and make sure people have completed the work before we give them a certificate. So if you're on the course, make sure you tick off your modules here, so you'll be able to do them. Once you've watched your video, you tick off your completed lesson before moving on to the next lesson. So that, and then once you've done that, you will see the quiz there, and it will give you the option. If you get 100%, which I'm sure you will after completing the course, you will be able to print out your certificate, and if you need that for your CPD points, then that's great. So I think that is about it for the course portal. And so finally, what I want to do is just hop over to the Facebook group so that you can have a look there and see what you'll get when you join the course. So this is where all the action really happens on a day-to-day basis. So it's Karen Gilbert online perfume course. Now you won't be able to access this unless you are a member, and I will have to send you an invite and add you here. Now we'll also have all the Q&A schedules. So for the Q&As, I will put them up as events. So you will see all of the lives here as they happen, and the lives will be in at the allotted time. All you need to do is come to the group and show up at the date and time. So you can see here the last one that we did was 16th of August at 4 p.m. and you can see this is a live. So I'll just give you a little
Q&A of this round
taste of what that's like.
Introduction to Perfumery Level 1.
Let's just turn that sound off. And the way the lives work is I show up live, people just show up here as well, and you can type your questions as we're live, so you can see all of these people asking questions, and we can chat and interact on the Facebook Live. So I'm loving doing these lives as Q&As. I might switch them to webinars in the future, I don't know, but for the moment they will be via Facebook Lives. So if we just go to the regular discussion, what you will see is, people posting their questions. I sometimes also post articles that are useful as well. Other people post articles that are useful. So it's not just about me, answering questions. It's, other people add their recommendations as well. And the great thing about this group, and actually all Facebook groups, is the search function. So there's a few things that come up time and time again. So let's type accords, because I know people often have questions about accords. So this little magnifying glass, if we search here, what will happen is it will bring up all of the posts that have the word accords in it. And so if you've got a question on any particular topic on perfumery, what I would suggest that you do is type the word, or say perfumer's alcohol is another one. Type the word there, and the chances are that other people have asked that question before. And so you can go back and read through other people's questions and the answers that I've given. So really, really useful thing in the group. And of course, you can hang out with all your other fellow students, some of whom have been in this group since 2013 as well. So there's a wealth of information in here. We've also got a files tab. So other people have uploaded things, I've uploaded things. So there's all sorts of information in there. And so that's it, I would say. So the great thing about this course is that it fits around your life. So even though each one of these topics, I would suggest that when you're going through your modules, you dedicate a few hours to going through that particular module, doing the exercises, and then over the 2 weeks of that module, keep dipping back in and doing some of the exercises. You've still got lifetime access to it though. So don't panic if you think, oh, well, I'm really busy at the moment, so I'm going to fall behind. Even though it's 14 weeks, once we have released all of the modules, you have access to all of them. So you'll see what I'm seeing here. You'll have access to everything. So for example, if you join and, you do module 1 and then you go on holiday for 2 weeks and you're behind, and then module 3 is released, don't panic. It's not going anywhere. You have lifetime access to all of this information so that you can use it time and time again. And what I've realize is going to happen is that we're running another round, and the students from the last group are like, I'm really a bit behind. It was over the summer holidays. My kids were off. So is it all right if I join in with the next round? Absolutely. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing the next round of live Q&As for the new students, but alumni, people who are already in this group, they're welcome to come and hop on and ask questions as well. Like, there is no, I set aside an hour for these Q&As, but sometimes, like this last one, I think has gone on for an hour and a half. So, I'm here for you on these live Q&As. This is your opportunity to get all of your questions answered, whether you're in this round of the course or whether you've done the course a year ago. You're free to hop on. So now you've had a little tour, I can't wait to welcome you inside, and I look forward to getting started with you in an introduction to Perfumery Level 1. And if you've got any further questions about how the course works, then please drop me an email to either Karen@onlineperfumeschool.com or Karen@karengilbert.co.uk, and either myself or one of our team will be more than happy to answer any questions you've got. So that's all from me, and I hope to see you inside the course. Bye for now.